One thing I regret never doing when I was younger was learning how to skateboard. I always wanted to, never did. I don't know why. I never owned a skateboard. I don't remember even asking for a skateboard. I would piss around on my friends' skateboards, but I was always really, really shit. But right now, I've got this unique opportunity. I've got
one form of exercise a day.
In a world where significantly less people are outside. Probably not as few as they should be, but I'm going out to exercise, so I'll allow it. Significantly less people are outside, and therefore there's significantly less public humiliation from being 25 years old and fucking shocking at skateboarding. So I bought a board, and I gave it a go, and here's what happened. So, week 1, I'm recording this at the end of week 1, my first week skateboarding. So, this is how it went. I was shit. Obviously, I was shit when I got on the board. The first few days were tough, obviously, and I can see why, like, when you're a kid, you'd give up on this really, really quickly, because you've got to, like, have that mental endurance to be like, it's fine that I'm shit. Being shit is the first step to being good at something. I will be not shit soon. So my main goal was just to be able to balance and feel more comfortable riding the board. And I struggled. Just to balance. But eventually, after a few YouTube tutorials and a few hours of practice, I learned the footing, I learned how to push, e.g. move the bastard, and also I learned how to turn. The footing was simple enough. You've just got to train your brain to put your feet in a specific spot whenever you get on the board, like muscle memory. The footing when you're stood on the board versus when you're pushing the board, like moving it, is different. So learning to transition between the two is also pretty tricky at first. I think I got it though, which, is good. So pushing or moving the board was so tricky to get my head around. It looks basic when you see other people doing it. Literally just moving on the board, just like you would with a scooter, except no handle. You're just pushing on the board. But, like having one foot on the board whilst the other foot is flailing around whilst you're trying to move along and then balancing is difficult. I found it, impossible at first, but I got there by practice, obviously. It just involves attempting it and then stumbling off of the board for no reason, over and over again. Well, for seemingly no reason. It feels like it's for no reason because you just can't get the balance. You're like, why am I falling off the board? Like, what is happening? But yeah, doing it over and over again, you get there. Also, building up speed whilst trying to do this as well was difficult. I wanted to build up speed and then be able to put both feet on the board, and the second I stopped pushing, the board stopped. Maybe it was the spot that I was in that was crap. Anyways, what I managed to do was there was a bit of a hill in the spot that I was at, so I just practiced rolling down that hill for a few days to help give me some balance. So the first way to turn that I learned is called tic-tacking. That just involves pushing your back foot down, lifting the front of the board up, and pivoting the board once the wheels are in the air. Again, looks easy. It's not fucking easy. It's difficult. I did get there, but again, it's just practicing it. The second way to turn is just leaning on the skateboard, which again felt like it was friggin' impossible. For the best part of the first week, I could not get my head around this at all. I was like, why is it not turning when I lean on it? Then I googled it, and apparently new skateboards come with the trucks, the wheels or whatever it is on the bottom of them. The trucks, I think they're called. Super tight, screwed up super tight underneath, and you've got to loosen them to turn it. If you don't have them loose, turning the board just by leaning, it's ineffective. It doesn't happen. So once I'd loosened them, I suddenly realised after all these years why when I was 10 years old practicing on my friends' skateboards, why I could never turn the fucking skateboard. So anyways, as soon as I loosened the trucks, everything, all of these fundamentals became way, way easier. So I don't know, maybe it's different for different people, but that was a real, oh shit, I'm actually getting the hang of this once I'd loosened the trucks. So that was good. So yeah, whilst you're learning, it feels like really slow progress, when you're practicing, but looking back on the first week, I'm actually pretty impressed with how much I've picked up in just 7 hours. So yeah, pretty good. Oh yeah, also by day 6, I teached myself a little bit of an ollie, and I was kind of getting bits of it right. So anyways, park that. I want to get better at ollieing in week 2, so that's my goal. I can balance on a board now. Let's go. Time to bust a nollie tray flip. Week 2. It's the end of week 2. I just wrapped on week 2. I was still shit. A little less shit. Making less stupid mistakes, but yeah, still pretty shit. All I was doing this week was, like last week, the same shit again and again and again.
I meant to do that.
But I feel like it's not going to be as interesting to watch this week because the thing that I was doing again and again and again was ollieing. Just doing a jump, right? And it looks easy when the pros do it, but my God, this is a difficult technique. So difficult that on Monday I accidentally did a shove it, and then when I looked that up, it was actually easier to do a shove it than an ollie, and I nailed it in a couple of tries. Well, okay, nailed it is an over-exaggeration. I learnt the technique and landed quite a few of them, and it felt easier than doing an ollie, right? An ollie, Jesus Christ, there's so much to this technique, right? It's just a jump. What you got to do, you jump, just as you normally would, a normal jump. Kick down, pop the back of that board. As the board comes up with the jump and the pop, you've got to drag your front foot forward, right to the front of the board. And you've got to make sure that as you're dragging, it's like the top of your foot is the thing that's doing the dragging. Sounds bonkers, but that's what the tutorial said. And then you've got to kind of like push the board forward once the board has come up because of the drag, and then you've got to land it not sloppily. That's a lot to remember all in one go. And yeah, so at the beginning of the week my ollies looked like this, and at the end of the week they looked like this. So by the end I was actually like getting the board off of the ground. It just, you know what I mean? That's an hour every day. That's like 7 hours to get that height difference. It is evident from this week that, yeah, you got to sink a lot of time in if you want to be good at this sport. It's kind of frustrating that I only get an hour a day. I feel like I could get better quicker if I had more than an hour a day. But hey, lockdown. Hopefully I'll do them better next week. We'll see. Week 3. It was at this point I realised I'd made an error.
That's enough for one day.
Man, so I screwed my back up at the beginning of this week, and when I went out again to skate, I realised that what I'd been doing wrong is that I had been putting a lot of strain on my back when I'd been trying to ollie, instead of putting it all in my feet.
It forces me to use my ankle to push down. And I thought I was using my ankle to push down before. I think I might have been using my leg more than I realised.
So when I was trying to not hurt my back whilst I was out, I was like, oh man, I've been doing this wrong the whole time.
Oh my God, I think that was it.
Weird how your brain tells you that you're doing a thing and it feels like you're doing a thing, but when you actually do that thing, you're like, turns out I was never doing it in the first place. I feel like I cleaned up my ollies like 1% and I cleaned up my shove-its like a couple of percent. I feel like the shove-its are a bit more clean now. I also kind of started learning to do a rolling shove-it, like whilst the board is moving, and I was starting to get it a little bit one evening, and then when I went out again the next day, I just totally forgot it, and for the last few days, I can't do it. It's like I've lost that muscle memory of telling, you know, like I need to re-teach my brain that thing that's like, it's okay to do this. It does seem dangerous, but it's going to be fine. Especially as I'm wearing pads as well.
Fuck's sake, I just can't get my front foot to come off the board first. It just feels like suicide.
But I guess it's just practice and whatever. It's just stupid. Week 4 didn't really pan out as I was expecting. Started off normal. I was just practicing those rolling shove-its that I didn't quite manage to do last week. And I feel like I was sort of edging towards doing it. Much like every relationship before Lena, I just couldn't commit. I was definitely edging towards landing one, and then this happened.
So I just had to finish one of my skateboarding sessions early because a group of lads tried to nick my bag. But they didn't actually nick my bag, and they sort of like appeared out of nowhere. I noticed that my bag was not where I left it, looked at them. One of them was holding my bag. I didn't really know what to say because they were still looking at me, so I just sort of said, all right. The guy on the end put my bag down. I went and picked up my bag, put it on my back, skated off, and that was it. So, you know, that kind of threw off my vibe a bit.
So that was a pain, but whatever, right? It happened. I got up the next morning and I was practicing again. Just don't let it get to you, man. It doesn't matter that people want to fucking rob you. What we're focused on is landing this goddamn trick. What I was doing wrong was I wasn't getting enough speed beforehand, which bizarrely, like when you're going faster, you actually feel sturdier than when you're going really, really slow. I was just trying to do like a little bit of speed because I was like, I'm just starting out with the rolling shove-its, man. I'm just going to have a little bit of speed. Doesn't work. You've got to go a little bit faster because that feels sturdier. I don't know why physics exists. Also, I realised I wasn't jumping upwards when I was doing like the jump and the scoop with my back foot, so I was jumping outwards, so that was making the board go away. I needed to be jumping upwards, so I was like over the board, so the board didn't run away whenever I tried to do the trick.
We'll get it tomorrow.
So the next beautiful day, the switch went in my brain, and I was like, "Oh, this trick, I can actually friggin' do it." I really don't know what it is. It's like you tell your body to do a thing, and it doesn't listen. Your brain's like, "Come on, legs, do this thing," and they're like, So yeah, it was just a muscle memory, and I managed to do it. My God, the heart attack you have when you're doing this. It's just like, it feels so cool when you're doing it. It feels like such a big feat. But actually, when you look at it on camera, it's fucking stupid, like it's pathetic. It's like, oh, for real? The adrenaline of, if I fuck this up, then I'm on the floor, because, you know, now we're rolling, it's a little bit more, like, there's more potential for that. I landed, I want to say like 2, sloppily, but I'm going to count that. And obviously when you land a trick, you want to just keep doing it over and over and over and over so that you have like solidified that knowledge. But by the time I had actually landed it, it was the end of my hour session. Because I'm such a great citizen, I thought, better go home. And sadly, that was the last time I ever got to practice that, because literally 10 minutes into my session the following day, this happened.
Well, I guess this is a good conclusion. It snapped off. I don't know whether this is like cheap. It's definitely not because I had it on too loose. It's just, look, it's the fucking metal that's gone. Or, well, it's probably not metal if it's just snapped off. I had 2 days left of this challenge. Did I skate too hard? What did I do? I guess I'm not going to master that trick. Fuck's sake.
Game over. I did consider ordering some fresh trucks and actually like continuing this video when I had sorted the technical difficulties out, but post at the moment in London, because of what's happening with the virus, Lena and I are waiting on things that we ordered like a month ago, so I feel like it's going to be a while before I get to skateboard again. I'm just going to call it. I'm just going to say game over. Ugh, it's so annoying. So, will I carry on skateboarding after this when I get a board again? Yes, absolutely. I really, really enjoy it. It's so nice having something that I feel excited to do, and that I don't feel like life is futile when I can't do it as well as I want to. Do I want to be like a pro, like the best at skateboarding? Definitely not, definitely not. I feel like it's something that I just want to be like good enough to be able to roll around and have fun and go out with my friends too. Also, a really big thing that really fucks me off about skateboarding is everyone stares at you. And I'm not just like imagining this, because I've caught people doing it over and over again. Like, there's something about a board, like a bit of wood on wheels, that people are fascinated by. Everyone just walks past like, I find that really off-putting. I feel like I definitely can't concentrate as well when that happens. So having some friends around will be very helpful. Also, I feel less weird when I wear skate brands now, like this weird guilt that I had. That was like, I'm a fraud, somebody's gonna find me out because I'm wearing friggin' Vans and I've never been on a skateboard. So that's it, that is the video. Maybe I'll follow this up in 6 months' time. When I can skate a bit better, I guess. Here's my journey from really shit to still pretty shit, but a little bit less shit. That's it. End scene.